Welcome back to reviewing an album every day. Today's album is In Rainbows by Radiohead. Thanks for the suggestion. Before I get into my more nuanced opinions, here's my track-by-track rating for each song on the album. I didn't like In Rainbows, which is a statement that I'm a bit worried to say because Radiohead fans are, well, passionate.
You're gonna listen to Radiohead and you're gonna enjoy it.
But let's start with the good. There's lots of ideas in this album, from the strings of Faust Arp to the weird stereo mix of Reckoner, which reminded me of stereo mixes of Beatles songs, where in your left ear you get Ringo drumming, but then in your right ear you can feel George blinking his eyes. Now onto the bad. This album is trying way too hard to be different. For example, in Videotape, there's just this random grating thumping sound at the end for no reason. And House of Cards is absurdly long without doing anything, just for kicks, I guess. And I can barely hear the vocals. I guess that Thorn York, which is the most British name I've heard in quite some time, is apparently performing for mice now. The melodies feel stiff and unchanging, and it just got tired pretty quick. While I could sense some good ideas in the mix, they quickly got drowned out by whatever the rest of the song was doing. In Rainbows gets a 3.7 out of 10. A bold move from me, though I'm sure that no one will get mad at me. Thanks for watching, I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, positivity is free. Welcome back to reviewing an album every day. I'm dead now. Just kidding, this is my new friend Cletus. Was my new friend Cletus. After the whole Radiohead debacle, I landed in hell and now I'm trying to find a way out. To be honest, I haven't really done much in the past 24 hours, but it's probably because the visitor center gave me this handy-dandy chart with oddly specific instructions. So I guess now I have to talk about the 7 deadly sins while recording an album review. I think I already got Wrath out of the way, and Sloth too, because I wasn't really trying that hard, so you know, 2 out of 7 down. I'm pretty good at this. Oh, and there's Pride. It'd be thematically appropriate to review The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance today, so that's what I did. But before getting into my more nuanced opinions, here's my track-by-track rating of each song on the album. And just as a little aside, I would love to have the vinyl for this because that album art is absolutely gorgeous. The Black Parade is an emo concept album drawing influences from rock operas of decades prior, which feels a lot like Greed to me. But of course they're also infusing it with classic My Chemical Romance charm. Screaming. They're screaming too. The best song is definitely Welcome to the Black Parade, which is a constantly shifting song with impassioned lyrics and relentless backing from the drums and guitar. I would really love to learn the guitar so I could play this song. It takes the best from softer songs, something like Cancer, and heavier bits from songs like House of Wolves, and puts them together into an excellent 5-minute long song. Honestly, the only thing I can say is I wish it was even longer. Now, since this is a safe space, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I'm not the biggest fan of the song Teenagers. Sue me.
You have 3,001 new lawsuits.
Yeah, okay, just throw them in the 8th circle of hell or something, I don't know.
Alright, yeah, let me... Ooh.
Yeah, if you could just, clean that up real quick, thank you. It's not terrible, but there's definitely better songs, and it doesn't really add to the concept album in any way. Speaking of which, I think the concept for this album is immaculate. Looking at the journey of a dying patient who's going through regret and resolution for his actions in life is just such a great idea. And it really adds to the best songs of this album, like Cancer or Dead. Overall, I'm gonna give this album an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching, I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, positivity is free. But now, I gotta go. Alright. Welcome back to reviewing an album every day. I'm in space now. I must have taken a wrong exit somewhere, so now here I am. So what better album to talk about right now than 2006's We Don't Need to Whisper, the debut album from the band Angels and Airwaves, fronted by Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 fame. But before getting into my more nuanced opinions, here's my track-by-track rating of each song on the album. The album has a space synth rock sound infused with pop rock elements. The album is really a look at the best and worst of humanity. Famously, during the production for the album, the band would project 2001: A Space Odyssey on one side of the room and have World War II images taped on the other side. And I don't know why they're totally ripping off my own room layout, but hey, I get it. These themes really manifest themselves in songs like The Adventure. This is my favorite song, and a real look towards the future and what good it can bring. While another one of my favorite songs is The War. This song is more of a critique of the meaningless casualties of war. I do think the album falters slightly in songs like It Hurts or Do It For Me Now, which are attempting to reach the same bombastic levels of a lot of the other songs but end up feeling a bit overproduced. You don't need a loud song every track. But overall, I do think it's an ambitious project that hits its mark. It takes a lot of the good and bad of humanity, and while at some points it may seem cliche or overdone, I do think that not all the time you need some nice hearty kale. You can just relax and have something that tastes good once in a while. Overall, I'm gonna give We Don't Need to Whisper an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching, I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, positivity is free. And while I'm loving hanging out here in space, I'm gonna take some advice from the band, and I think a little's enough. Catch you in Purgatory. Welcome back to reviewing an album every day. After dying while reviewing Radiohead, now I've landed myself in Purgatory. The directions on the sign over there just say to review an album I've never listened to before, so I guess I'll do that. Today's album is Falling Into Water by phendste, an album that was suggested to me in a totally normal, definitely not ominous way. But before getting into my more nuanced opinions, here's my track-by-track rating of each song on the album. First impressions of the album. Where's the rest of it? I'm still looking. The album is only 10 songs spanning 22 minutes, and one of those songs is a demo track. Yeah, the rest isn't there. But what is there is good. Well, at least the first half. My favorite song on the album is probably Won't You.
Yellow and blue, the green in your eyes, they speak for you.
It's a warm, peppy track that's super easygoing. The back half is filled with more instrumentals and shorter songs that don't feel totally finished. They all just kind of blend together. An example of this song would be You Love.
Who you are is all you'll ever need.
At its best, the album has a lot of catchy tunes filled with emotion, but at its worst it has quick, unmemorable beats that didn't really leave a mark. Overall, though, I'm going to give the album a 6.2 out of 10. Thanks for watching, I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, positivity is free. Welcome back to reviewing an album every day. I think I found myself back in hell. No, worse, the suburbs. But hey, let's make the best of a bad situation and review a thematically appropriate album, The Suburbs by Arcade Fire. And before getting into my more nuanced opinions, here's my track-by-track rating of each song on the album. The Suburbs is a concept album about the nostalgia and innocence of youth, as well as the mundanity and pains of growing up. And they capture each aspect of this well. Sometimes too well. Some songs bring on that word feel in an equally tiresome way. I think Modern Man is a good example of a song like this. But most of the album is filled with super unique songs and equally diverse vocal performances. Standouts for me are Sprawl 2, which is a super 80s synth-driven song about the endless expansion of suburbia. Deep Blue is a much tamer and more introspective track, but I think it also works very well.
We saw the signs in the suburbs.
The album really captures the magic of suburban life well. And by magic, I mean less the Disney kind of magic and more the double-double toil and trouble kind. This album is one of the strongest in their lineup and deserves a 7.7 out of 10. Thanks for watching, I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, positivity is free. And by this time tomorrow, I should be on a one-way ticket to heaven. So see you there. Welcome back to reviewing an album every day. I finally made it to heaven. Wait a minute, this isn't heaven, this is make-believe. And by make-believe, do you mean the 2005 Weezer album Make-Believe? Why, of course I do. Wait, who are you? Well, I'm you, of course. Alright, pal, enough of that. There's only room for one of us in here. As aforementioned, today's album review is Make-Believe by Weezer, and here's my track-by-track rating for each song on the album. The album is one of Weezer's most controversial. There seems like there is no consensus on this album. Some laud it as one of their greatest works, and others say that it's one of the worst things they've ever released. But all I know is that a lot of the album titles have probably been used as senior quotes at some point. While they do stick to their alt-rock roots, Weezer really goes for these arena-ready anthems that have a little less substance, but I can't admit that they're not good, because they are. A good example of this would be Perfect Situation, a song that they literally changed after it was released so it would be even more arena-ready.
What's the deal with my brain? Why am I so obviously insane?
I still really like the song though. There's also good songs with more impactful lyrics, but I think that there's a lot of songs that just don't have as much of a drive to them. There's mediocre, standard alt-rock songs that have a home in a playlist that you have to pay attention to. I would offer up the song Peace as an example. But there's enough memorable and different songs for me to give this album a 7 out of 10. And hey, turns out all this make-believe was just make-believe. I never died at all. So it's good to know that I've never passed away. I'm just delusional. But hey, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, positivity is free.